What's up, guys? Robbie Ray's here. Going to be doing my analysis of the skill tree of the Krogan engineer. Going to look at these skills and say, based on my knowledge of Mass Effect 3 in this game, what I think sounds good, what I think the final optimal build will end up being. Remember, this is all subject to change. I just want to get my opinions out there so you guys can start playing. And I do want to hear your opinions. If you know something I don't know, if I miss something, you tell me in the comments. And when I have them at level 20, I'll put up the optimal build with gold gameplay. Okay, so for now, taking a look at Overload, Assault Turret, Incinerate. So basically, Incinerate's going to be your primer, and Overload's going to be your detonator to get the fire explosions going. Right off the bat, that's kind of the rundown of how this guy will play. Now, this Assault Turret, we'll get into that later. Taking a look at Overload, you got 15-second recharge of base. That's kind of up there, guys. But it is going to be doing a ton of shield damage, obviously. This guy's actually, well, there wasn't ever a Krogan engineer in Mass Effect 3, so this is kind of a new thing that they've done. He's kind of, the most similar class of Mass Effect 3 to this guy would be the Krogan Sentinel, and they're still very different. This guy actually has a lot in common with the human engineer for Mass Effect 3. It's pretty much the human engineer, actually, if you look at the powers. Taking a look at Overload. Get some recharge damage, okay. On this, I would probably go for recharge because it's so goddamn long. And but let's see if the other trees offer something. Chains to one additional target when charged. 50 damage versus inherently. How many can you hit? What does it say? It says hold charges Overload causes a chain of 2 additional targets. So basically, you get 3 at base if you hold it down. So that's already a lot, guys. With 1 point in Overload, if you hold it down, you can get 3 people with it. Pretty damn good. And why does that matter? Well, think of it like this, guys. You'll be detonating multiple explosions, right? It's good to obviously drain the shields of multiple enemies, but think of it one step further. If there's multiple people set up, primed with fire or cryo or whatever, you'll be able to detonate more of them. So recharge, I'd probably go recharge. Damage versus shields versus chains to one, so you can make it 4 targets versus 50% damage to shields. 50% looks pretty appealing, guys, and you're already hitting 3 people, so I don't know if I'd go for that. 50% damage versus shields, 15% synthetics. Taint to an additional target, which deals increased damage to chained enemies. So you'll get 30% more chain damage, and you'll get to get another target. So basically, you could, if you wanted to, at base you're hitting 3 people. If you were to pick this and this, that means you'll be hitting 4 people with this, no, 5 people with this power. But in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it. I think I'd probably pick up one of these chain evolutions. And since this is 50% versus shields, and this is 50% versus shields and more damage to synthetics, well, this is giving you more damage to the group. You see, guys, the way it's going to be is basically when you're playing this game, not everybody has goddamn shield, right? But hopefully, the target that you're picking to Overload is the one with the shield. Let it chain to the other enemies. We don't know if they're going to have shields or not. So this kind of logically doesn't make... Imagine you're fighting Ket. I guess most of them have shields, but imagine you're fighting the mercenary group. Like, only the sniper has a shield. So the rest of the people, you're not overloading to... take away their shield. You're overloading because you just want to get your combos off. So you see what I'm saying? You overload you hold it down and you pick the target that has the shield. And then let it detonate the other people as well. But you're not really worried about them losing their shield because they may not have a goddamn shield. You're aiming the power at the guy that has the shield. Now against Ket, pretty much everybody has the shield, so it is useful in that respect. As far as Remnant, a lot of them do as well, but a lot of them don't. So would you rather change to an additional target when charged and deals increased damage to chained enemies? So you get 30% more damage and an additional target. Or you get 50% damage for shields, 50% damage for something. One thing I will tell you about using Overload as a detonator is, as a rule of thumb, in Mass Effect 3 it was the same way. Obviously, the more of the enemy's shield you can drop, the better the combo will actually be. Say I have them all set up for a fire explosion, and I detonate with overload. Well, the more shield I drop, the worse that fire explosion is going to be for the enemies, because a fire explosion is going to do a lot of damage to armor and health. So if their whole shield is gone, they'll take a lot more damage from that combo. You see what I'm saying? So it is kind of an indirect buff to the combo itself when you're taking away more shields. So it's kind of up in the air at this point. Basically, I think you should pick up one of these chain evolutions. It should be one at least, because you're hitting 3 at base, or maybe none. I mean, you're already hitting 3 people. It depends on what you have setting them up. Incinerate, first of all, we're not even sure that's going to hit that many people. So you may want to just go full damage on Overload, guys. If you're already hitting 3 people, you may just want to go for recharge, damage, because you're already getting 3 people at base. Do you really want to get 4 and 5? I don't know. I mean, to me, this one does not look worth it. Change into Dark One Charge, because you're just getting an additional target. This one might be worth it because you're getting more damage and an additional target. So this definitely looks more appealing than this. But this also looks more appealing than this. But not so much so, because it's only a 15% more damage synthetics. In my opinion, if you want to get more than 3 people inherently, I would go recharge, pick up the damage here, and pick up the chain here. And if you just want to be able to, you're happy with hitting 3 people, I would go recharge here, damage, and damage. That would be really good, guys. Because you're already getting 3 fucking people, you know. So getting into Assault Turret, again, that all depends on what this other guy's powers are, right? Because if he's priming a bunch of people, then it may be very useful to detonate multiple explosions. I know Incinerate's radius will be really small, but let's take a look at this. Recharge speed, turret health, I'd probably go for, what is the recharge speed on this thing? It doesn't tell you. That's real nice. But I've played with it, and I think it is pretty long, actually. Turret health versus turret recharge speed. I'd probably go for recharge speed. I'd rather put it... Because the thing about this turret is, guys, you put it out, and then the scenario changes so fast in this game that you really want to put it somewhere else pretty soon. It rarely will be useful to you in the same spot. You'll always want to keep moving this, unless maybe it's an upload. But for the most part, you'd benefit much more from being able to keep placing it in different locations than you would of letting it hunker down in one location and take a ton of damage. Because it is nice to be able to put it somewhere else as often as possible. Because, like I said, the scenario changes. The enemies move. They're fast in this game. So I'd probably go recharge. Turret gun damage. Okay, this is definitely better, guys. This is really good. This is going to make it so that your other tech powers, which is what they should have done in Mass Effect 3, they've kind of improved this power a lot. They've made it so that it's going to help your actual powers recharging, which is really goddamn good. Also, the turret's going to be repairing itself, so this won't hurt you as bad if you're close, because it's going to be fixing itself. And it's improving your tech power refresh rates versus the gun damage. Honestly, I'm not relying on this gun a lot. I'm hoping that this turret can set targets up for me to detonate, and it can help my other powers out. Because let's be honest, you have Overload and Incinerate, 2 great powers already. So I'm not worried about this gun doing too much damage for me. And first of all, take a look at its damage. Damage per shot, 20. That's piss poor, guys. So I mean, no matter how much we put into that, 25% here, it's gonna suck. It's not really going to do a lot of damage for you with the gun. So yeah, I go recharge, Omni-Link for sure. And this I am still debating, because if you want to be close to the turret, Flamethrower may not be as good. And if you pick this evolution, you want to be close to the turret. Because think about it, if you want this Flamethrower to work, I know this Flamethrower only has an 8 meter range. So I have to be within 8 meters of the enemies if I want to get my bonus from here, and I want to set them up for fire explosions with this. This is good, setting them up for fire explosions. This is really good, and doing armor damage, but debuffing 100% against armor, that is also really good. And what you gotta remember is this guy does not have any kind of cryo power. He does not have a debuffing power, and he already has Incinerate. So for me, I would probably pick the cryo debuff on this guy. And I would be able to keep, and I know that this turret shots have a pretty good range. It can shoot them from pretty goddamn far, but this flamethrower, it has to be, like I said, 8 meters away from them. So yeah, I'd probably pick the cryo debuff because you're already going to be doing fire explosions on the enemies with your incinerate. So I'd rather the armor take more damage from that, and I keep the turret closer to me, so I can get the heal, so I can get the power recharge off it. Okay, on incinerate, damage over time duration. The projectile affects all enemies in a 2-meter radius. I'd probably go for radius, but let's see. Because that means, but let's think about it, guys. Only 2 meters, how many enemies are you going to hit? Not many, but there's a chance you will set up more than one enemy, or you get more damage here. Initial damage or armor damage. I go armor damage all the way. Well, what is the initial damage? 120. I mean, good luck getting that number up. Basically, this is, yeah, I'd probably go for armor damage. Just use it for what it's for. Launches 2 projectiles. This might be incinerates attacks, initial attack, now triggers combo detonations. And I believe overload detonates. It doesn't say anywhere that it primes them, so I don't know why this would be useful unless you're using some kind of elemental ammo. Because if overload is not, incinerates now triggers combo detonations. So if overload primes them, then that would be really good. That would be non-stop tech burst fire explosions. But I don't think it does. What I'm reading here detonates combo primers. It doesn't say anything about, priming enemies. Now let's check if energy drain does. Because if energy drain primes, then I'm pretty sure that overload won't. Detonates. Okay, then I think they've kind of made it in this game so that what's it called? The overloads and energy drain are just used as detonators. They're not setting enemies up. That does kind of suck. So right here, trigger combo detonations. So if you're using disruptor rounds, incendiary ammo, cryo ammo, then this is kind of good. But you do have your overload to already detonate. So I don't know if it's really worth it on this. This could be really good though, especially if you have chain incinerations going. And even if you get this, I might still get that because is each projectile going to get a 2-meter radius? That means you could hit multiple people, lots of people. Versus just getting a little bit more damage over time and duration. Yeah, you know what? Well, you know why this is good. This is good because if your overload's not ready to go, then they stay primed for a longer period of time. What is its duration on base? Its duration is 6 seconds. That's already pretty long, guys. I mean, you should kind of have some planning and not use the incinerate until you're sure your overload, you can get it off within 6 seconds. So in my opinion, it might actually be best to pick the radius, armor damage, and double incinerate. That way you can set up a shitload of people, detonate with overload, detonate a shitload of fire explosions. Really good. Offensive tech. So again, what's going to bite the bullet here? Honestly, it's looking tough at this point to make a decision, but let's keep going. Power damage and duration, all combo damage, all combo radiuses. That is good, guys. Definitely, I would probably pick this one. Armor damage, shield damage. I would probably pick armor damage because armor's tougher to get through in this game. Weapon weight capacity, weapon accuracy, weapon stability, elemental defense, inflicting a status effect on enemies causes them to take more damage from heat, cold, and electricity. That's really good. I'd probably get this debuff. Rage. Honestly, we might have to lose some, not get too much health points for this guy because his powers are all so good. If something was going to bite the bullet, it would probably be this assault turret. If something we were going to not put a lot of points into something, it would probably be the assault turret. But I don't know, because, okay, think about it like this, guys. Something's going to have to go. Here, you're getting 100% debuff using this turret on the targets. If you were to go all the way into offensive tech and get all the way to here, you'd only be getting a 35% debuff. See what I'm saying? So if you're basically deciding between the turret and offensive tech, the turret's looking better, in my opinion, as far as maxing out. Rage, I mean, we're going to have to see. He is a Krogan, so he should be tanky in his own right, but it's looking like you're going to have to lose some points here. If you were going to go, obviously I'd pick the health and shields. I'd pick the regeneration, and I'd pick the again, all the basically health and shield options is what I would pick. But taking a look, he's already pretty tanky, and he's got 3 goddamn good powers, and the passives are going to make those powers even more crazy. It looks like this might be a build where you skip out on some rage, to be honest. And as far as Assault Turret is concerned, this last evolution, 100% debuff to armor, that will just... And you're doing fire explosions. Yeah, guys. I think we're gonna have to test him out without fitness and without rage and see how it goes. If he can handle it, it doesn't look like he has any kind of a way to get his health or shield back, so it kind of sucks. But you know, these are all looking so good to me. If something had to go, I would probably pick the assault turret. If like you cannot live without your rage, I'd probably say the assault turret's got to go and just overload and incinerate nonstop, get crazy combos, keep doing that, and then max out the offensive tech. You could still get the debuff here at the end, but it's not anywhere near as good as the 100% debuff you get this. You know, and remember, you can tell this turret who you want it to attack. So like, you know, you could tell it to debuff the boss for you, which would be really goddamn good. Remember, you can command who you want this turret to attack, is my point. What I would do, guys, is as you're leveling him up, keep putting points in overload and incinerate, as I said you should. See how he's playing. If he's doing good, and you're not having too much trouble staying alive as you get into the hard difficulties, then you may want to try out the assault turret. If not, and if this guy's just like going down and you're overload and incinerate, I can guarantee you're going to be doing good together. My point is, are they doing good enough that you feel confident in them, or would you feel that you would benefit a lot from this 100% debuff? That's kind of what you should be making this call on, guys. As far as offensive tech and like I said, if you're handling it, you're killing the enemies fast, then your health and shields are holding, then maybe consider going without the rage. If not, then again, this altar might play. That's my first impression. That's what I think, guys. Just looking at these things and what my initial kind of my knowledge is telling me. Yeah, should be a pretty goddamn fun character. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss something? Do you know something I don't know? And we will come up with the optimal build, get him a level 20 gameplay when he sees at 20 on gold, and I'll give you the final build at that point. But just something to get you guys started. Let me know if you, like I said, let me know if I miss anything, you know something I don't know. Be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy this, and tons more coming your way. We'll see you at level 20 with this bad boy. All right, have a great day.